So many factors come into play working from home, and let's be honest, there can be a lot of distractions in that home office. Earlier today, I spoke to executive search expert Steve Yakish about strategies to help workers stay productive and on task.
Steve, thank you for being with us. So many of us are working from home these days. What are some things we can do to make sure that we're being as productive as we would be in the office?
It's a great question, and I think there's a lot of different tactics and strategies. But if somebody's struggling to stay productive, recommend starting with three basic strategies. First is establish a routine in the morning. Whatever you enjoy, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's that cup of coffee and reading the news, whatever that is, I would make that a daily occurrence to get yourself ready for work, even though it might be at home. The second tip that I would recommend is to take breaks throughout the day and plan them throughout the day. The 20-30 minute, mental break can do us all a lot of good. And during the summer months, even get out and go for a 20-minute walk and come back and clear your head. And then third and last, plan your day. Take 15-20 minutes at the end of each day and really look forward to what is your day look like tomorrow and the rest of the week. So you can, again, go back and plan those breaks to give yourself some mental health.
I know it's especially difficult in the summer, although some folks are finding they're more productive at home. What are your clients, what are the employers telling you in terms of if their clients are more or less productive, and how can they tell?
Great question, and you're right. Some are feeling like they're even more productive. Others struggle, and so we encourage all of our clients and leaders out there to just have those conversations with their employees. And a few signs to tell is looking at their production or the quality of work, and if leaders are seeing quality diminish and or untimely tasks being done on time, go and have those open dialogues with your employees and potentially give them some strategies to be more productive at home.
So how important is feedback and setting expectations for both the employer and the employee?
I think it's extremely important in just daily, non-working remotely environments. It's important, but I think in today's environment, having those conversations, setting expectations, and just having open dialogue with your employees is that much more important because you want to make sure your employees are feeling connected.
Yeah, are there some things that you've advised people to do to really not only keep that productivity up, but make people still feel sort of connected and part of a team?
Yeah, again, the open dialogue and communication is key, number one. But number two is, we're encouraging leaders to allow some flexibility in people's schedule. If you're a parent and you have kids at home, maybe you have to drop them off at a camp or a sporting event or whatever during the day. Allow for that flexibility to allow your workers to have that and then come back and be productive. Maybe it's only in a 4-hour block and then they have another errand to run, and then maybe it's two-hour blocks, but eventually you're going to get your work done if you allow for that flexible work and life balance.
Well, those are some great tips. We're all figuring this out now, 4 months in or so. Thank you so much for being with us, Steve.
Thanks for having me, Lauren. Take care.
Get more information on these strategies for workers and businesses right now by texting 4 p.m. to the number on your screen.